Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this tutorial we'll write a Python program to print this number pattern. Shape of our pattern is square and the first number we want to print is 25 and the next number is 20, next is 15, next is 10, next is 5 and in the next row we want to print 24 minus 5 that is 19 minus 5 that is 14 minus 5 that is 9 minus 5 that is 4. Here, first let's see how to get this number 25. Here, when number of row is 5, number of column is 5, we want to print 25. If number of row is 4, number of column is 4, then we want to print 16. If number of row is 3 and number of column is 3, we want to print 9. Actually, this number is nothing but number of row multiply number of column, right? So, when number of row is 5, number of column is 5, 5 into 5, 25. We'll get the first number. And to get the next number, we need to minus 5 from this number. 25 minus 5, 20. 20 minus 5, 15. 15 minus 5, 10. 10 minus 5, 5. So what is 5 here? 5 is number of row or number of column here. So we need to subtract number of row from the previous value to get the current value, remaining values. Okay. So this is about a row and in the next row we want to get number 24 here. Next we need to subtract 5 from it, 19, 19 minus 5, 14, 14 minus 5, 9, 9 minus 5, 4. So we can get these numbers, but how to get these numbers, the first numbers? Actually we'll get 25 from by multiplying number of row and number of column. But how to get 24 here? So for that what we can do is, so if I take this as value, so value minus row, if I do that, here this is the first row, row 0, so value minus 0, 25, value minus 1, here row number is 1, so 24, value minus 2, that is row 2, 23, value minus 3, 22, value minus 4, that is 21. We'll get this number. Okay, so this is about this pattern. Shape of the pattern and number we want to print in the pattern. Next, let's write the program. The first step in the number pattern program is we need to ask the user to enter the number of row or number of column. For that, let's take a variable num and we'll use input function. We'll ask the user to mention number of rows. You can ask the user to mention number of column also. Because here we are using Python 3, we need to convert our input to integer. So that's why I'm using int function here. Alright. So done with the first step. The next step is we need to use nested for loops. First for loop is for row. Here I need to mention number of row we want in our output. That is num and next for loop. Inside the first for loop, we need to take the next for loop, that is for loop for column, and here you need to mention how many columns you want in your output. We want num columns because shape of our pattern is square. Then here you need to print number. So how to print the number? First what you need to do? You need to multiply num and num to get the first value. So what is num? Num is number of row. Here number of row is equal to number of columns. We'll multiply number of row and number of column. So we'll get the first value. Then inside the first for loop, that is in every row, to get the value you need to subtract row value from the value. This statement is for these values. To get this value at the beginning of every row, to get this value I need to subtract row number from the value, that is 25. 25 minus 0, 25. 25 minus 1, 24. 25 minus 2, 23 to get this number. So inside the for loop for row we need to take this statement. Okay, next here we need to print k and end is equal to space. Here you need to write a statement to get the remaining values. For that you need to subtract 5 is actually number of row num value from the previous value. Okay, that is to print these values. To get 20 you need to subtract 5 from 25. So 5 is nothing but number of row. 20 minus 5, 15. So we are using this statement. Okay. Then inside the first for loop use print function, that is we want to print different row in different line. So to get that new line we are using this print function. Alright, we are done with our program. Let's save this file and execute this program. So let's mention number of row. I'll mention 5. So here we are getting the output, but we are not getting proper shape. For that you can format the output. Okay, let's save this file and number of row is 5. So here we can see the output 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 24, 19, 14, 9, 4, 23, 18, 13, 8, 3. Okay, if I take 4 as the number of row, here you can see the output. You can take 7 also. Here you can see the output. Okay, so this is about this pattern. First ask the user to enter number of row or number of column. Then here we are using this statement to get the first number of our pattern. So we need to multiply number of row to number of column. So we'll get the first value of our pattern, number of our pattern. Next we need to use for loop for row. Inside the first for loop we need to use this statement to get the first number of every row. So we need to use this statement. Next inside this for loop for column we need to print the value, and to get the remaining value in the row we need to use this statement. We need to subtract number of row from the previous value to get the remaining values. Lastly we need to use this print function inside the first for loop, that is after printing a row, to print the numbers in the next row we need to go to the next line. For that we are using this print function. Here we are using end to separate the values by space. So this is about the program. So that's it for now guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will meet you in next class. Till then, take care.